Hey everyone, and welcome to Gupshup's webinar on how to build a chatbot on Microsoft Teams. I'm sure it's different parts of the day for different people, but good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all of you all. So essentially, collaborative messaging and messaging on the enterprise has grown really big, and because of the rise of messaging apps. And essentially, all these collaborative messaging tools, and there are a ton of them right now, like Slack, HipChat, and now Microsoft Teams, all of them have support for chatbots. So this webinar will tell you a little bit about the possibilities and business opportunities of creating chatbots on these sort of collaborative messaging tools, as well as how you can build and deploy a bot onto MS Teams using Gupshup. Quick round of introduction before. My name is Sohan Maheshwar and I lead developer relations at Gupshup, and that's my Twitter handle right there. And we have with us also Shreyans Pashwakirti, who's developer evangelist at Gupshup. Follow both of us on Twitter and you can find our Twitter handles. So let's dive straight in and look at the agenda for today. We'll talk a little bit about the state of the chatbot or the bot ecosystem. I'll take you through a little bit about the features of Microsoft Teams since it's a fairly new product. We'll talk a little bit about bots on Microsoft Teams, and then we'll give you a demo of how you can actually create a bot on Gupshup and deploy it to Microsoft Teams. So first, let's look at the state of the bot ecosystem. Now, Microsoft just had their developer conference called Build that they hold yearly in Seattle. They just finished it last week, actually, and Gupshup was pretty proud to be part of it. And they're very bullish on chatbots, and they reported a few numbers that showed that the bot trend is really catching on. In fact, now they've also started supporting chatbots using Bing, in fact. So roughly chatbots, I think, can be divided into like two sort of categories. One are the consumer-facing ones, and the numbers on the consumer-facing ones are staggering, right? For instance, just Facebook Messenger alone has over 100,000 bots, which they announced at F8 a couple of weeks ago. And they also said that 100,000 developers are currently working on FB Messenger bots alone, which is quite a staggering number, right? I'm sure all of you here have, interacted with few bots, such as the popular ones are, of course, Swelly, HiPoncho, HelloPeg, Neo Group. You can see the logos of a couple of the ones at the bottom. And bots like Swelly say that they have more than 3 million users, which is a huge amount considering that the ecosystem is so new. Now, these examples are, like a very consumer-facing sort of day-to-day use sort of chatbots, but you also have the enterprise and the work-related chatbots that is also a fairly large network. So currently, Slack, HipChat, Cisco Spark, and Microsoft Teams all are in the space, and they all support chatbots. Slack alone has more than 4 million users and has more than 1.25 million ping users. That's a staggering amount for such a young startup. And by the way, this is 2016 data, so you know that the number of users and paying users have definitely increased. Some of the popular apps that popular bots, but they register that popular bots are Meekan, Growbot, Poly, and Zoom.ai. These are available across HipChat, Spark, Slack, and all of them, right? In fact, taking the example of Meekan, which is a chatbot that helps you with scheduling and calendaring, they say that they've analyzed over 50 million meetings, which is a huge number, right? So these are some of the verticals in enterprise bots, right? Bots that you would use on Slack or Microsoft Teams. These are the sort of categories that are really popular. You have a lot of productivity apps. Meekan, for example, is one of them. Helps you with scheduling, things like that. You have DevOps chatbots actually, which have really caught on. You will find a lot of internal messaging tools that have DevOps chatbots. It far beats, like a manual sort of polling to see whether all your servers are up, whether all your clusters are up. In fact, we have seen teams where all the DevOps people are on a channel and a bot informs them if a cluster is down and then pings the right person based on which cluster is down, etc. So it really helps like streamline these sort of processes. You have reporting chatbots, which are very cool. Most businesses, have like internal reporting mechanisms to check, how much money they're making a day, how many downloads, and internal analytics essentially. A chatbot can really give you different cuts of data, and instead of hiring like say a person to send out these reports every day, having something like a chatbot internally can really help. You have chatbots to help with project management as well. You have bot integrations like Jira, Asana, Trello, etc., but also custom sort of integrations based on the sort of projects that you're running. A lot of HR chatbots are available now too. Ones that schedule, frequent meetups, one that help you give feedback. Growbot actually is a great sort of HR tool. It's a great way for you to send like feedback and kudos to your other colleagues, and they make it in a fun sort of way that makes you want to use it a little more. And of course, you have like your social and fun sort of apps and bots that you can add to these messaging tools. One that I particularly like is called Donut, which introduces you to like a new colleague every day. And I think it's especially in slightly larger organizations, it's a very well done sort of bot that you can talk to. So these are just few of the verticals that have seen like this huge explosion of bots in the recent past. So given that MS Teams is a fairly new sort of product, I think there's a huge sort of opportunity for bot makers such as yourselves to really build bots or export your current Slack bots or Cisco Spark bots onto Microsoft Teams so that you can be like the first to market. The business opportunities in the chatbot market in general are really huge. Business Wire reports that the market is going to grow about 40%. They say it's about like 38 to 40% annually from this year to 2021. So that's a huge growth spurt, right? And a couple of other market research companies have said that the market size will increase to $1 billion by 2024. Although in my view, I think that will happen far more quicker, right? So the great thing is that the infrastructure for all of this is already in place across the world, right? With say, we have had different paradigm shifts before. We moved from the PC era to the internet era to the smartphone era and now to the chatbot era. During all of these earlier paradigm shifts, the infrastructure wasn't necessarily already in place in different parts of the world. Like, for instance, internet took a long time to get to countries like India, China, etc. And then smartphones also took a while. But now with the whole bot explosion, the infrastructure is already in place. People are already using messaging apps and voice platforms. So things are going to move a lot quicker. So there's a huge opportunity. And the opportunities could be in like creating products, creating services, service companies, creating internal tools, whatever, name it, and it's there. So let's talk a little bit about Microsoft Teams now. It's essentially, like I said, it's a chat-based workspace, and the great thing is it's integrated with Office 365. So a lot of you all who work in enterprise already use Office 365. So it's like Microsoft has really positioned themselves throughout the entire sort of enterprise value chain. Right, so it was launched earlier this year, and the great thing is it's available in about 181 countries and in 18 languages. So really widespread use. So we're going to talk a little bit about chatbots on Microsoft Teams, and here's a screenshot of Meekan and how it looks. As you can see, the nice clean interface. And the thing is, right now, since it's fairly new, Microsoft Teams currently supports one-on-one sort of private chatting with the chatbot, and also in channel conversations, which means you can add a chatbot to a group in a public team channel, right? So essentially, if you read between lines, the only sort of limitation is that you can't have a private group with a chatbot currently, which I'm sure they'll fix soon. But yeah, that's how they've built it for now. And essentially, the messaging types are very simple. There are like 3 different types. One is obviously the rich text, where different text, emojis, etc. One is images. You can send and receive images, and both a user can send a bot an image, and a bot can send a user an image. You have something called cards, which is very akin only to Microsoft Teams, and I'll talk a little bit about it in the next slide. And essentially, a user can't send a bot cards, but a bot can send a user these cards. And Teams essentially right now support 2 types of cards, the hero and the thumbnail cards, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on. And of course, you can support emojis. So yeah, in terms of cards, you can see 2 screenshots. The first screenshot on your left is the hero card. Right, so there are 3 different types of cards. The hero card is essentially what you see there. It supports like a smallish image, a title, a subtitle, and a couple of buttons as well. A thumbnail card is very similar. Only thing it's a thumbnail of an image as opposed to like a normal image. And the O365 connector card is a special card which is far more customizable, but it's not supported in MS Teams just yet, but it will be soon. They also have this thing called a carousel, which essentially is a collection of cards, and we'll show you how you can create a carousel in MS Teams very soon. Right. So I'll hand over the presentation to my colleague Shreyans now, who will take you through the rest of it. Yeah, Shreyans, I'm just going to make you the presenter, and yep. Yeah, go ahead, Shreyans.
Thanks, Fern. Well, that was pretty nice about all the features that Microsoft Teams has and all the stats to show why we should be building bots. So yeah, let's get on with the presentation where we will talk about how you can build, MS a bot on MS Team using Gupshup, and then we'll see a demo about it. So yeah, first of all, Gupshup, as you know, has different tools for different, you know, set of people. Like for developers, we have IDE bot builder, and you build a bot using Gupshup IDE bot builder. Then you go to dev.botframework.com, which is Microsoft's dev bot framework, and you create an app and then register the bot and set the messaging endpoint at Microsoft's end. And then you get, when you do that, you get an app ID and password after where you register your bot on Microsoft platform. And once that is done, you come back to Gupshup and give us the app ID and password, and that's it. Your bot will work on Microsoft, start working on Microsoft Teams. You know, few things about discovery and promotion of your bot. So actually, Microsoft Teams, has an option where you can discover bots. So they have already they have preloaded list. When you click on search, they have preloaded list of bots which they think is good for you, and they want you to try out. Otherwise, if you have specific, search query, you can search in the search bar for the bots. So yeah, let's get started with the demo. Let me just switch over to my IDE. Yeah. So this is Gupshup platform. You can go to gupshup.io and then log in. You need a GitHub account to log into gupshup.io. So on clicking on my bots, you will be taken to the dashboard where all your bots reside, whatever you have created. And we have let me quickly explain actually what are these. So here you see I have a lot of bots created already as demo purpose, and the status are like published, if it is deployed on a server, whether it is published or not, how you have built it, because we have a bunch of options to build a bot, like ID bot builder, which is for developer. We have a flow builder, which is for designers and all to design the flow of the bot. We have a template bot builder, so it shows that. Then we also offer database and logs capability, and the publish tab is where you can go ahead and publish it uh, on any messaging channel that we support. You can also enable monitoring, where we continuously check whether your bot is up and running or not. And this is the number of API calls, because our platform works on a freemium model, and we charge you based on number of API calls. So first 100K API calls are free though. And then there is enable interbot. Now if you want to understand more about interbot, we have done a webinar. You can go to gupshup.io/webinar link, which is actually at the end of the site here, and you can look at the video of that webinar as well. Now I already have a MS Team demo bot created, and let's go ahead and test this bot out, and then we'll talk about how the code works, and then we'll publish this bot on Microsoft Team as well. So as if you're familiar with Gupshup or not, we have something called Gupshup proxy bot, which actually resides on almost all messaging channels that we support. Like Facebook Messenger has a Gupshup proxy bot, Telegram has a Gupshup proxy bot, and we have a Gupshup proxy bot for Microsoft Team as well. Now the benefit of this Gupshup proxy bot is that it can mimic any bot on Gupshup platform. So you don't even actually have to publish your bot while you are developing the bot. You can just directly come and test here. So let me start off by saying, proxy, and my bot name is MS Teams demo, MS Teams demo. And this proxy bot will actually map it to the Microsoft Team demo bot, which I've created. And let's go ahead and say hi to the bot. Now what you see here is actually, a text with buttons, where you can have a question and then yes and no button, and so this way you can throw suggested responses to the user, so that the user just selects instead of typing in something. So let's go ahead and click on yes. Now once I clicked on yes, it gave me a quiz. So now this is actually hero card, which Sohan just talked about. Now it has a couple of features like this is the title, this is the subtitle, it has an image, and then it has different options. One thing to note here is that this web app experience is completely different from the phone experience. If you have MS Team on your phone, there is slight difference in this layout where the buttons are actually one by one, comes below each other. I guess because of the size of the screen, and so don't worry about it if you are using it, and that's something Microsoft team behavior it is, so we cannot control it. Now let's go ahead and answer this. So the answer to this, I know, it's Alia, and once I say that, the bot gives me that's correct. Now let's look at how much code did we write to actually achieve this flow, and what did we write. So in the message handler, so this is the IDE where you have different handlers, and the message handler is the one which actually receives user message. So when user said hi, we send something called a poll, where it actually asks the question, and by automatically our platform displayed those two buttons if you use a poll there. And if the user's answer was yes, we created the card using this, where you have only one element in this option and have multiple buttons here. You have the title, you have the subtitle, and you have the URL. And once that is answered, the response was sent back. Now we also have a flow, to display the carousel. So let's go ahead and say shop, because now what you see here is another example of buttons with text. Now this one is not like the poll where you only had yes and no buttons. Here you can add buttons, but the maximum limitation I believe is 6 to display it on one stage. So you can have up to 6 buttons here. So what would you like to buy? And then view website is actually a URL. If I click on this, it opens the website which you have coded into the URL. And let's go ahead and click on shirt. And if you see here, now this is a carousel. Carousel is actually, as Sohan explained earlier, that carousels is a collection of cards, and it's like horizontally stacked cards top of one another. Now if you see here, I can have different options. I'm getting options, so I can navigate to different options in this. And now I can go ahead and select which one to buy. So let's buy this gray shirt, and your gray shirt will be shipped in 1 working day. So this is what is a carousel. And to create a carousel, uh, you have to add more items into the same JSON which you used for sending the hero card. It's just that here you are actually sending multiple multiple cards in one thing. So all will be displayed as a horizontal list. And same way, the response from it is sent back and uh, is displayed from the bot. Now, well, this is good. We are able to test out the bot using proxy bot. Now I want to have this as an individual bot on Microsoft Teams. So let's go ahead and see how we can do that. Let this load. Before we move forward, I just want to, take one moment and talk about the documentation we have for this. So if you look at this, this documentation will appear on our doc section. We have a doc section, and this documentation will appear under supported platform, Microsoft, and my message type supported for Microsoft Teams. Now this document is still not public, and it should be public by next week. So uh, you can add all these, you can use all these JSON once this is public. So yeah, if you look at here, everything has been documented. You don't have to worry about what JSON that you have to use. So you have JSON for sending a poll, you have JSON for sending multiple options, You have JSON for sending the hero card, and this is how it looks actually on the mobile phone, the buttons stacked over each other, and so on. So you can go through this document once it is live, and you'll be able to get your bot work up and running. Now let's go ahead and publish our bot. So MS Team Demo is our bot. Let's go to the channel and publish it on Microsoft Teams. Now here is Microsoft Team. So apart from Microsoft Team, we also support at least 15 different channels. Like you can build a voice bot on Google Home. You can build it from you can publish it on my Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Slack, HipChat, Telegram, Cake, and so on. So let's go ahead and do this. So it says go to log into dev.framework.bot framework, and I'm already logged in, and this is my bot section. So let's and then we have given you all the steps here which you need to take. So let's go ahead and start with it. Let's create a bot. Let's click on register. Once you click on register, it starts. Let's give this as MS Team Demo, and here let's say MS Team Demo again, and description testing. Now you have to configure a messaging endpoint which we provide you at Gupshup. So you copy this and go ahead and enter this. Now you'll have to create a Microsoft App ID and password, and this App ID and password is also required by our platform in the last section here. So let the App ID and everything get generated, and we'll then move forward. So App ID is generated. Let me copy this from here and paste it here as well, because anyways we have to do it at the end. And let's generate a password for it. So this is really important for our platform to make connections with Microsoft Teams. So you'll have to make sure that all these things are MS Team Demo, all these things are correctly entered. So now you have to enter this App ID here, because Microsoft also wants you to do this. MS Team Demo. Okay, now everything is fine from here. I can just go ahead and agree and say register. Now it was MS Team Demo. All right, let me close this. Bot is created. Now once the bot is created, you by default Microsoft gives you option for publishing it on Skype as well as web chat, but we want it to be published on Microsoft Teams. So we'll go ahead and click on this so that we can enable Microsoft Teams as well. So on this screen you can configure, so I'm just going to say leave this as it is, the default options, and I'll just say I'm done configuring Microsoft Team. Once that happens, your Microsoft Team will appear in the connect to channel option, and health is running. That means it was able to make the webhook which we set, it was able to talk to that webhook and make sure that the bot is actually running. So let's go ahead and click on Microsoft Teams so that it goes ahead and it starts opening my Microsoft Team on my desktop. So let's not go with that. Let's open in the web app. Now if you see here, now this is slightly strange. It has this. Why? Because I forgot to do something due to which you can see this long name. You have to start the bot with underscore, then it displays the name. So in my bot handle, I cannot change right now. So if I would have started this with an underscore, it would not have given me this. Because I have published this demo bot one, which also belongs to my bots, under my bots. So see demo one, and in this actually I had, just to show you that you don't make this mistake, if I started it with underscore demo one bot, and that's the reason I got just demo bot one. So make sure when you're doing that you use that nomenclature. Now let's go ahead and bot is published and add it. Let's go ahead and say hi to it. Oh, okay. Before we do this, I really forgot to do one more step where I submit these credentials on our platform, Gupshup. I'm really sorry about that. Now, let me submit this. Without this, this of no use because we won't be able to make any connection. So yeah. Now let's go back to our chat and let's start the conversation again. This is strange. Should actually work. Steam demo. Wow. This is strange because it should ideally work. I guess I made some mistake. Callback URL. Let me just cross verify quickly if I have everything set up correctly. Yeah, those things are fine. Application ID is fine. And Steam demo is fine. Password is fine. Well, this is completely strange. Why is it happening? Let's go ahead. Now let's go ahead and refresh our conversation once. And this is really strange, and give me some moment to fix this thing because it should ideally work. Whew, I was afraid I made some mistake. I don't know. But it was all the same. I didn't make any changes. So I think it took some time, to register it, the password and user ID, everything. So now yes, I would like to take the quiz. And we are back to the same bot which we were testing on Gupshup proxy bot. Click on Talia, and that's correct. And if I go ahead and say shop, it will take me to the carousel. Oh, sorry, first this. If I click on the shirt, it will take me to carousel. So yeah, and you can go ahead and do stuff with it. So yeah, well, there was a demo. That was a demo for how to create a bot and then publish it on Microsoft Teams. Let's talk a little bit about Gupshup more. So Gupshup offers tool for the entire bot lifecycle, if you will, because you just saw that I actually created a bot. I had a bot which I deployed it on a server with one button click. So if you look at this here, ignore this because this is just in beta right now. So if you look at this option of deploy, so you can, if you click on this, it actually deploys it on a server. So yeah, we got you covered. We support complete bot lifecycle where you can go ahead and script your bot using flow builder. You can define a flow, then you can write code online directly. You don't need to have any setup locally. You can deploy it on a server. Well, you can test it out. So we have Gupshup proxy bot using which you can test out the bots before even publishing it into public. We have publish mechanisms for more than 15 different channels. We have monitoring in place where we continuously check the health of your bot. We have we are coming up with bot stores, and we are trying have bringing tools for promotion as well. And we have analytics, as you saw, that we have logs as well as we have analytics to check how many messages has gone through and everything. So yeah, and we also have tools for everyone, like we have ID bot builder for developers, flow bot builder for which is a graphical tool where you don't even have to write any code. It's completely code free option, and you can just go ahead, drag and drop things using the interface and create a flow for a bot, which is good for initial testing and everything. And then we have a template bot builder, which is more for an SME business, small business. You can go ahead and, again, a graphical tool where you can go ahead and change certain things in the template, and the template becomes public to everyone, and very quick way for a small business to go online. Right now we support restaurant template itself. Yeah, with that, thank you. I'll just transfer the transfer this to Sohan back. Sohan, all yours.
Hey, thanks so much for that demo, Shreyans. That really illustrated how you can build a bot on Gupshup and push it to MS Teams. So the floor is open for questions. We in fact got a couple of questions when Shreyans was taking his demo. But if you have any other questions, please feel free, and we'll try and get as many as possible. Let me take the first couple that have come. Chris I asked the question about how do I send an image on MS Teams. So well, Chris, that's actually pretty simple. Similar to how you can send a text, or how Shreyans demoed how you can send a card. There's a certain format for sending an image as well. Maybe Shreyans can quickly show that part of the demo, because
yeah, sure. Yeah, let me just come here. So yeah, it will illustrate how quickly the things get deployed as well. So let me just go to doc section. So everything has been documented. You don't have to worry about anything. So ID bot builder, under this, if you see adding images, and here is the JSON which you use. So well, here the example says Batman, so let's copy this. For now I'm just going to paste it here, and let's search for an image for Batman. Let's take an image. Let's take that. Now let's put the image URL here. Okay, and we'll just put the same. Well, the URL is really big, so let me just quickly find an image which has a JPEG in it. Not this one. Well, this is the tricky part. You need to find, if you're hosting image for your bot, it would be pretty easy. But yeah, instead of that, I already have an image here. I can just take this. So same flower image which we have. So let me just take it here and put the image here and stuff. Trying to figure out a new image. Let's go ahead. Paste the URL again. Yeah, and we won't do much. And instead of Batman, let's just say flower. And deploy. Yeah, it's deployed. Everything is done. Let me go back to the bot which we have published. So let's just say flower. And you can see that the image is sent to the user like this. So you can utilize that as well. And maybe there could be a case where you want to send a hi or greetings along with the image, a smiley or something. You can definitely do that. You just have to use the template for sending multiple messages at once. So you can go ahead and do that. Back to you, Sohan.
Yeah, thanks, Shreyans. Chris, as you can see, it was really straightforward to add an image as well. And yeah, it's all of it is listed out in our documentation, and you can take a look. We also got another question from Swati, who said, how will this bot render on Facebook Messenger? Well, Swati, that's a good question. Essentially, the great thing about using a platform such as Gupshup is you can write your bot logic once and push it to multiple messaging apps. So what Gupshup essentially does is it normalizes a lot of the features that MS Teams or Slack or Facebook Messenger might have, and displays it natively on that particular messaging app. So here we created carousels with the hero cards on Microsoft Teams. The same bot will render on Facebook Messenger as a carousel as well. The same bot will render on Slack as a native Slack feature. Slack doesn't have a carousel, but they have something different where you'll see images one below the other. So that's how it's all going to render, and you don't really need to write separate code or separate logic for any of this. It all happens automatically. Cool. So I think that's all the questions we have. We don't have any other questions coming in. If you do have any other questions, feel free to write to us at developer@gupshup.io or do tweet to us at the rate Gupshup. We do webinars every week, so we'll be hosting one next week as well. So keep a look on gupshup.io/webinars for past webinars where you can see videos as well, or you'll also probably get them in your email ID. This has been a lot of fun, and do tune in for our next webinar. Have a nice day. See you guys.